Hello and welcome to the end of an session. Now, this is a somewhat of a sequel to It Gets So Lonely Here. I did play that one last week, so if you guys are interested in checking that one out before this one, you can check it out on my channel. You'll probably find it. Anyway, let's start a new game. Feel groggy when you finally wake up. Back of your head is throbbing, mouth feels dry, so it's been stuffed full of wool. With blurry eyes you glance around. What time is it? Where are you? Perhaps more importantly, who are you? Don't remember. It tends to probe the nooks and crannies of your memory are depressingly unsuccessful. Dwelling upon your identity too deeply hurts. Such a dull sort of pain, rather than a sharp one, and it makes you wince nonetheless. Perhaps it's better not to attempt to remember too much then. Thinking was never really your strong suit. Always been a creature that existed upon pure instinct. A fool who thought that she was more intelligent than she was. It would seem that I'm getting carried away. My apologies. That was kind of weird with the music. This is not that sort of story. And in any case, I hardly have the energy to be acerbic. I'm afraid this has already been done before. I wouldn't want to be repetitive, or worse still, trite and tedious. Try to restrain myself for the rest of this narrative. Now, let's return to your predicament. Do not know who you are or where you are, but with some luck, there should be something close at hand to jog your memory. It's bright, and you have to blink away spots of white which bloom behind your eyelids, hissing like a scalded cat. You rub your eyes with the heel of your palm. Surroundings melt and twist around you, rippling like the troubled surface of a lake. Then, all of a sudden, you hear a voice call to you, light and bright, full of girlish amusement. Oh, I see you're finally awake. Who said that? Oh, hello there. Ah, just there, you see her now. There's a woman standing by your bedside. She has hair the colour of sunset, curls around her face. Eyes are soft and a smile plays about her lips. Looks sweet, like an angel, but you know only too well that looks can be deceiving. You are unsure whether to trust her. It's hard to trust anybody when your head aches so much and you do not know where you are, especially a woman such as this. It looks so very at ease. Does she not realize how anxious you feel? Or does she simply not care? You try to ask her what's going on, but you can only get half of the question out before you start to cough. Oh, you poor thing. Woman tuts, then hands you a mug of something warm. You've been through a lot, but don't worry. I'll look after you. Now here, drink this. Look down at the cup, and it's dun brown contents askance. Is it really safe for human consumption? Yes, that's fine, silly. I've not poisoned it. That's what you're worried about. In fact, it's the opposite. Yeah, I feel like she would have had ample amount of time to have killed us by now, as we don't know as of yet how long we've been here. And on top of that, we'd know if we were dead, because, well, you know, we would be here, right? And the opposite? Indeed, I intended it to soothe any unwanted aches and pains. I'm sure your head is aching. It must be, after everything that's happened. What happened? Now, I'll only answer one question at a time. It will get confusing otherwise. And you must be plenty confused already. Now, come on, drink. You are a little hesitant to fulfill this woman's request. She is a stranger after all, and you have no idea what the liquid inside the cup is. This could be some sort of trap. But the woman is smiling. She doesn't necessarily look wicked. Perhaps you can trust her? Bring the cup to your lips, but knowing what else to do. Wait of her expectant stare is uncomfortably heavy, and begin to sip. Drink is warm, surprisingly so. Makes your lips tingle. As for the taste, well, it's not unpleasant. In fact, it's quite nice. Is that honey? You only intend to take a small sip of the curious drink, but before you know it, you've downed the whole mug. Tastes too good. It does feel a lot lighter now. Thanked the woman hesitantly. Now, you know not what else to say, and she beams. It's alright. I thought you could use a little pick-me-up after everything. You've not had an easy time of it, haven't you? No? Don't you remember? You woman asks. Not a single thing. Well, maybe that's for the best. What happened to you was quite traumatic, though I did try to be gentle. I didn't want to cause you any undue hurt, but here's the thing. It's surprisingly hard to kidnap a princess from a palace without causing a bit of fuss. Woman laughs. Her laughter is light, just like her voice. Washes over you. So, wait. I'm wondering, are we not the main girl from the last game and instead the princess that we came across? If so, yeah, you might want to be careful, because she has a taste for flesh, and yeah, we'll leave it at that. It ought to be soothing, just like the drink she prepared you, but it isn't. The shoulders do not get any looser. Instead, your whole body tightens. Princess, did she say? Yes, that's right. You're a princess, and I'm a witch. Ah, yeah, so she is the witch from the last game. Everybody in the kingdom said you were singularly beautiful. Not that I put my stock in those rumors, of course. I mean, how many people can say they've actually seen a princess? I thought it was all hearsay, just stuff and nonsense, really. But then I happened to glimpse you during a royal ball, held to celebrate your 18th year. I realized the rumors were all true. You really are beautiful. You're so beautiful, in fact, I had to have you for myself. Woman, the witch, leans forwards, still smiling, but there's something unsettling about it. Her teeth, you realize, at the start are awfully sharp. Nails, meanwhile, are terrifyingly long. She cups your face in her hands, her long fingers resting against your cheekbones. Nails scrape against your skin like knives. Breath smells sweet, but only superficially so. Underneath it, think you can detect something of the crypt, something of her tid. I've been laying low for a while, keeping to myself. I've been awfully good these last 100 years, but it does get boring, you know? Always been on my best behaviour. I'm a witch, so I'm supposed to cause the odd commotion here and there. It's all part of the profession. Witches exist to curse people, and to cause problems. Lightly the witch giggles. Sickly sweet breath is given your face. And princesses exist to be kidnapped, especially pretty ones like yourself. That's the way it is. It's the way it's always been. I'm just fulfilling my role in this little story, so please, don't get mad at me. We can't help our innate natures. Witch leans in further still, her long fair eyelashes trembling. You look so pretty in that gown of yours, which was paler than the moonlight. But I think you look even prettier as my prisoner, at my mercy, in this tower. You're in a tower? Yes, that's right. It's a nice tall tower, out in the forest. Nobody knows where it is except myself, and protected by all sorts of enchantments. It's not possible for anybody to get in or out, anybody except me, of course. King and Queen can send out as many search parties as they want. Won't make a blind bit of difference. You'll not be escaping here in a hurry. You're all mine, to do as I please. And I'm not going to let you go. Witch's eyes flash like lightning. A few moments she looks unsettlingly, unnervingly human. Want to push her away, but you can't. Your body no longer wants to obey you. Was it the beverage she gave you earlier? One which tasted of honey? You do not know. I have no earthly clue why your body is frozen, but you cannot bend your fingers nor blink your eyelids. These thoughts, no other thoughts for the matter, are soon scattered. Witch dips her head, closes her eyelids, her long lashes manning together. She parts her lips. Then she presses her mouth, tastes of sugar and soil and something sinister, something which you cannot describe against yours. You, of course, are powerless to resist. How could you ever hope to push her away? You're only a princess. She, meanwhile, is a witch. It's her job to dominate you. I mean, in different circumstances, I would definitely like to be dominated, but, you know. Anyway, that's not how stories such as this always go. Once again, you feel groggy when you wake up. Back of your head is still pulsating. Your mouth feels dry, though it has been stuffed full of wool. Stomach, meanwhile, is coiled up in knots. You feel sick. What time is it? Sit up in bed, blarily. There we go. Half asleep, wiping your eyes with the back of your arm when... Hello. What are you doing anyway in this tower? Just kinda... Do you, live here or something? Or are you just watching me sleep? It's kinda creepy. Oh, you're finally awake. Oh? Glance up, hair snapping into position like a ball-jointed doll's. You recognize the woman who is standing by your bedside. It's the same woman you saw yesterday. One who looks like a rose. Did she not say she was a witch? How very curious. You ask the witch what she's doing. An innocent inquiry tempered by sleep, which makes her laugh. What does it look like, my dear? I'm waking you up. Oh yes, you can see that. So why ask? What time is it? Seems awfully early. It's not so very early, really. It is a sensible hour. One that fair princesses such as yourself should be up and about. I'm sure your servants awoke you far earlier than this, when you still lived in that palace, to help you with your toilet. Did they not bathe you, and brush your hair, and dress you? Did they? Cannot rightly remember, but the witch is waiting for an answer. You don't want to disappoint her. Really, our princess, surely you must have had servants. You nod. What else can you do? And the witch smiles. I knew it. You should have been awake hours ago. But I am a contemplatively kind witch. I won't scold you who've been slattering it. Yeah, whatever that word is. Used to be a scolder myself when I was younger for all sorts of misdemeanors. Most of them were made up. I don't want to do unto you as others did to me. Not when you were my very precious guest. Best colour's a bit at the compliment. Though you cannot help but wonder who would be foolish enough to scold a witch. Well, I wasn't always a witch, you know. Was she not? No, people aren't born witches, dear one. They become them after being subjected to enough hurt during their lives that they wish to shed their former selves, so that they may attain power of their own. I wonder. Because she does have red hair, and she has, like the roses. I wonder if this is not actually the same witch, but, our main protagonist from the last game, because she did have red hair. Because she would be the only other person that would know about the princess, so... interesting. Witches are humans who have been wronged, wish to inflict some part of their suffering upon others in return. Not that I meant to hurt you, of course. That would be a waste, when you have such a pretty face, such lovely long hair too. Now, Witch beams, looking positively perky, she retrieves a glit back brush from your bedside table. Would you let me brush your hair for you, dear one? Your hair? Yes, your hair. It's awfully tangled, and you have rather a lot of it to look after. You must have been tossing and turning in your sleep, because you've knotted it. Don't you know how to brush your own hair? What with your fancy upbringing, so may I? You eyed the witch hesitantly, some of your former unease returning to you. Why, you asked the witch, does she care about your appearance so much? Why does it matter, when you're trapped in this tower? It matters because you're a princess, dear one. A princess is still a princess, whether she is in a palace surrounded by courtiers or trapped in a tower with a wicked witch. In fact, one might urge that a princess is even more of a princess when she is being held hostage by a witch. And how does that work? It's how all these stories work. Princesses and witches are just two sides of the same coin. The good and the bad. Maiden and the hag. Not that I think I look particularly hag-like. As far as witches go, I think I'm a bit of an anomaly. But you're an anomaly too, when it comes to princesses. Here's a rat's nest. Need to make you look presentable. For whose sake? For the sake of a satisfying story. Don't understand what she means by a story. This is real life, is it not? Well, I wonder. What is real, what is not? It's often up to the beholder. Wouldn't wish to look dishevelled should a handsome prince chance by your tower, would you? That would make an awful first impression. Is it likely that a prince would stop by here? Not in the slightest. But hope does spring eternal. Daydreaming about being rescued keeps you going, and who am I to rob you of that opportunity? Goodness, that is so generous of her. I know, I'm a veritable saintess. Now, come here. Your hair isn't going to brush itself. You can see the witch is very insistent about this, though why you cannot fathom, so you give in. It's as though you have many other options, being locked away in this tower as you are. Excellent. Now, just leave everything to me. I have experience, you know, when it comes to making princesses look pretty. Oh, really? Is she in the habit of kidnapping princesses? Wouldn't you like to know? Kind of, yeah. Which giggles as she settles herself down upon your bed and reaches for your hair. Body tenses at this initial contact. As it is fretful, she might strike you, might slice you. But the witch, despite her title, does neither of those things. Instead, she begins to work, and being as any drudge, running the comb through your locks over and over and over again, till they start to crackle. I have to say, I really like the art for this. Really pretty. The third morning, you're ready and waiting for your visitor when she arrives. Though perhaps appears would be a better word inside your tower. You're come to expect the witch's presence, so you're not surprised when she takes a seat at the side of your bed. Regard her uneasily, still attired in your nightgown, hair rumpled after yet another night of spent tossing and turning. Think that you had a nightmare last night, though you cannot remember them, not clearly. Perhaps you were running in them. Is that why you awoke feeling so tense? Heart beating a staccato rhythm inside your breast. Yes, that sounds about right. You were running, you recall, be it faintly, through a forest. Okay, now I'm fucking confused, because I thought it might have been the princess that we met, so, hold on. So, this is the witch that so I'm guessing it's just following up from the ending of the game that we got, where, yeah, the witch took our, main character with her, and that she was going to be hers for eternity, so I'm guessing, yeah. This is our actual witch, and then, yeah, main character is still the same as the last game. Okay, I think I got it. Then the witch holded up a wicker basket from a truly mouth-watering smell emanates. Half of her cold dream dissipates before your very eyes. Witch giggles, and in a girlish manner, she says, "Hungry?" You nod instinctively, without thinking about it. You don't remember the last time you ate. Witch beans. I thought so. Now here. Witch reaches into a wicker basket and holds a flaky pastry out towards you. Do you want some? Stare at the pastry, gaze affixed to it, as if it were a holy grail, a sacred relic. All of a sudden, you can think of nothing but food. You're so ravenous, so much so, it almost scares you. It's strange though. Cannot recall feeling hungry at all, not until the witch presented this pastry to you. It's almost as if your body forgot what it meant to be hungry until now. You could have done without the hunger pangs, but now you have remembered what hunger is. You can feel it gnawing on your insides. You're not dropping in the mouth, at least, but you might as well be. You could reach out and take a pastry from the witch's long, bony fingers and stuff it into your mouth. You could tear your teeth into it, and swallow it in 2 bites. The thought is a tempting one, but it's not very princess-like. Starving though you might be, you must maintain your dignity. Witch watches you hanging back, bashed and tots. Oh, stop being silly. If you don't get any food in your belly, you'll starve. Not even princesses are immune from hunger. Now, look here. Witch breaks a piece of the pastry apart with her fingers, then she proffers it to you. Say, huh? What? Are you really doing this? Doing what? It's play out, you mean? Like lovers or else? Does she mean to treat you like a pet? I'm not treating you like a pet. You are my pet. I own you. You belong to me. You're mine to toy with as I choose. But for the present, I'll prefer to be nice to you. Not nasty. Don't make me regret this decision. Witch's eyes narrow. A floating shadow crosses her pretty face. It lasts a moment before it dissipates. Now come, stop this silliness. Eat. You still feel uneasy, but the witch's voice is firm, and hard beneath the layers of sweetness and light, you know better than to argue with her. You do not want to incur her wrath. You lean in. Then, as obedient as an enchanted lover, high alerts for your captor. And your fourth day in the tower sitting by the window, looking out over the forest which surrounds you. There really are a lot of trees, you think distractedly, your legs dangling over the cool lip of the sill. Spread outward like a green blanket, or else like an ocean wave, rippling and undulating in the breeze. Cannot look directly at the ground for too long, makes your head spin. Just how high up are you? Ask the question to the witch, who is brewing a pot of tea over a small stove. Glances at you, a small smile playing about her lips, and says, "High enough, dear one." Ask her how high that is, and she chuckles. Why does it matter? You won't be able to leave regardless, not unless you can sprout wings and fly like a bird. Do you think you're capable of such a feat? Witch's eyes bore into you, sharper than knives, and they make you shudder. Glance away from her, back out of the window over the treetops. There was a moment of silence. Then you asked the witch what she would do if you tried to jump from the window. What would happen then? Then you would soon discover that you are not a witch or a bird, and she cannot fly. You would hit the ground, and you would break all of your bones, and that would be that. Then you would die. Most likely, which is why I would not advise it. Of course, you're always welcome to try. But you'd be much worse off for it, don't you think? Suppose being crushed into a bloody meaty pulp on the ground would be significantly worse than submitting to the indignity of speaking to the witch every once in a while. And you'd say that. A clever girl. It must be your fancy education. You princesses are also very smart. Bask in the compliment for a few seconds, or a few moments, but something in the witch's words makes you frown. What does she mean by princesses? Why the plural? Are you not the first princess she has captured? Oh well, you know how it is. We witches are very long-lived. We have 9 lives, just like cats. Princesses, meanwhile, only have the one. It'd be awfully lonely if I had to pledge myself to one princess, one alone, when I have endured for so many years. You understand that, don't you? Then, are you not the only princess she has kidnapped? Of course not. As long as princesses exist, witches like myself exist to lead them astray. But worry not. In this moment, you are the princess that I care for, and I will take good care of you. I can promise you that. And these days are passing by quickly. Oh, it's now evening. Oh, dearie me, where's the time gone? Witch addresses you thus during your 5th day spent in captivity, after she is tired of toying with your hair. Stayed at your side rather longer during this visit than she has those in the past. Now the sun is beginning to set. Witch observes you, long lashes, eyes narrowed. Then she says, "It's unfortunate, but I fear I cannot spend too much more time by your side. I need to be off. You and I have work to do." That's funny, you thought, as a witch. It is her role to kidnap fair maidens. Is that not her primary line of work? Oh, I wish it would be nice if there were any money to be made in kidnapping maidens. Who knows? Perhaps there is. If I put a ransom on you, I'm sure the king and queen would get that word, to my request. I can make quite a tidy profit from capturing princesses. But they say you should never mix work with pleasure. While it would be nice to make a profit from my passion, I wouldn't wish to tire from my favorite pastime. That would be a true tragedy. So she regards kidnapping young women as a pastime. Well, what else would it be? It's just a bit of fun. For her, maybe it is, but for you... Oh, I'm sure you'll get used to it soon enough. I've not been too unforgivably wicked to you, have I? You think briefly upon the kisses that the witches have plied you with during the last few days. I'll press firmly against your own. Can recall the taste of her saliva upon your tongue. It's oddly floral, isn't it? And kinda gross. No matter what it tastes like. Everything about the witch is oddly floral. Though you think she might be compensating for something. When she kissed you, you thought you could taste the earth and the dirt. Silty soil and writhing worms. When it passes, you blink. And quietly you say no. She hasn't been too wicked to you. She has, by all accounts, been treating you quite gently. Surprisingly so for a witch. Oh, there you go then. You have enough food to eat, clothes to wear, and books to read. What else could a girl want? Oh, you don't know. Your freedom, maybe? Freedom is overrated. How much of it did you have when you were a princess? That is a good question. Cannot remember. That's what I thought. Wish smiles smugly and then leans in. Takes your face between her palms, cupping it, then says, "Now look, there are many, many people out there who seek the aid of witches such as myself. There are many sad and lonely little girls out there with no friends and family. Nobody who will listen to them. Granting their wishes is my job. I fear I've been ignoring their planted cries in favor of spending time with you. The clients will probably get angry if I keep shrinking my duties. Now that is peculiar. I'm surprised that so many people would willingly seek the service of a witch. Do they not have a bad reputation in these lands? Indeed we do. Bad reputation is better than having no reputation, though. Some people are desperate enough that they are even willing to turn to the devil for help. Thought that you would know that already, dear one. Fail to see how this conversational topic is related to you. Oh, it's definitely related to us in some way. But then again, you've always been a bit slow on the uptake. In any case, I think I'll be busy for a few days. Won't be able to pay you as many regular visits as I have been. But don't fret, I'll try to hurry with my obligations as quickly as I can, so I can be with you once again, like fate ordained. Fate? Yes, indeed. Princess is nothing without a wish to help keep guard over her. Not me, I fear your existence will lose all meaning. I would lose meaning without you too. We need one another, like the roses need the earth in which they sprout. So of course I will return to you. I cannot help myself. We are drawn together, you and I. But if you wish for further reassurance, do not mind making an oath. Now, look here. The witch relinquishes her grip upon you and takes a step back. For a few moments you allow yourself to feel a flicker of relief, soothed by the distance which has now been put between yourself and the witch. But then you see a flash of silver in the witch's right hand, and at least soon withers. What is she holding? This is a knife, my dear one. A simple paring knife, really. I mostly use it for peeling fruits, but it should serve my purpose well enough. Behold, which lifts her right hand, holding it upwards so it's level with your curious eyes. Extends her long bony fingers, flexing them so they seem to expand like unfurling petals of a flower. With her hand, she holds the handle with a knife steady. Unblinkingly, she introduces the blade of the knife to her palm. Then she presses. Blood begins to bloom on her white flesh in moments, her skin leaving beneath the tip of the knife. You watch, entranced. Goblets of bright red blood splash against the blade sullying it. Witch cuts herself without any hesitation, without any emotion, as a gardener might snip through the stem of a flower with a pair of shears. She does not feel any pain, does not look like it. Her expression is quiet and passive, unwavering even. You have wondered before, but you are quite certain now. She truly is not human. She has transcended such petty notions to become something otherworldly, something extraordinary. Now, let me do the same to you. Does she mean to... Ah, but of course. Fact has no meaning if only one person is making it. Just as promises have no purpose if only one person is willing to keep them. I am already offering myself on to you, dear one. So you need to offer yourself up to me, too. That way we will always be bound together. Not with words, which are flimsy, but through something much more immutable. Paupers and princesses are capable of telling lies, but blood is always honest. Witch speaks in a curious sing-song, which does not match how cold and inhuman her eyes are. Brings down a nice mere copper brown with her blood against your palm. Presses the blade to your skin, which is soft and unyielding, unmarked by any calluses. Yours are hands which had never known hard work. Yours are hands which had known before known any hurt. Just stay still, alright? That's a good girl. Doing so well. And that was before you met the witch. Once more you find yourself sitting by the tower window, looking out over the forest. Which was right, you think gloomily. You scan the tops of the trees. The tower really is deep in the woods. Though you strain your eyes, there is nothing but green, green, and more green. Trees are nigh on endless. You have pondered the pros and cons of jumping from the window before, so that you might run to safety, but you already know that this is a fool's errand. Room in the stone tower is too high up, for one thing, for you to jump. If you were to attempt it, you would shatter both your legs, or worse. You're unsure whether you can survive the fall. No matter how verdant the grass is at the base of your tower, and even if you did survive, you would not know where to run. You do not know where the nearest city is, or you know it could be miles and miles away. Nobody will be coming to save you. You cannot save yourself. Princesses shouldn't be too proactive. Isn't how stories like these are meant to go? Like a good little girl, you sit by your window, looking out over the forest, which stretches on endlessly, and you think. You daydream and you dither, but in the end, you do absolutely nothing. Once again, the witch doesn't come to see you. It's been 2 days since you last saw her. Only 2 days. Time has begun to drag. She went through all the effort to kidnap you, and shouldn't she make an effort to spend a bit more time with you? Have to give her a piece of your mind next time you see her. Really isn't proper, leaving a lady such as yourself alone for so long. has it really been that long? It's only been 2 days. It's not so very much. Why then do you feel so uneasy? I have a vague feeling that in your past life you cannot remember, you did more than sitting about or laying about, waiting. What else do princesses do other than wait? Wait in the palaces for balls, and then wait for these balls to be asked to a dance. Then they wait for a handsome prince to propose and whisk them away to another bigger castle. She'll be used to all this yandere, yawning, empty nothingness, but it's still nausea. It consumes you, eating you away from the inside out. But you're a good girl, and at the end of the day, you know better than to overstep the boundaries of the rule which has provided you. You are a princess. Princesses ought not to try and escape. What you can do instead is remain in your room and let the world pass you by. Oh, and she's back. Dear one, it's really good to see you again. I missed you. That's what the witch says when she finally appears in town one sunny morning. After smoothing down the satin fabric of her petal-shaped gown, and adjusting her hair. Jump upon hearing the witch's honeyed words, and drop the book you were perusing from your awkward fumbling fingers. Wide-eyed, you glance towards the window, where your unexpected, though perhaps anticipated guest is standing. Hope it does not show on your face. You don't want to be too woefully obvious, but part of you is relieved to see the witch again. You still do not care for her, of course. She is your captor, but her company is better than no company. Though you have had a fondness for reading, this can only alleviate so much of your loneliness. It's always better to have somebody to speak to, even if that somebody else is a witch. Have you been getting along, dear one? The witch asks you, always positively skipping as he approaches you. I hope you have not been too bored without me. Cheeks sprinkle as you dip your head. Quietly you mumble something in response. As not been too bad, really. I've been reading books are amusing diversions, yes. I knew the full well. Used to read a lot myself when I was younger, and more awkward than I am now. In my youth, all my friends would be found inside of books. I'm glad that we have so much in common. You'll have to tell me about the stories you've been reading later, but for now, Witch looks up you up and down, takes in your disheveled state. You've not been awake long. The sun is high in the sky and tops. There's full more knots and tangles than a bramble bush. The collar of your white nightgown is slipping down one of your shoulders. It must be quite a sight. I suppose it's that the witch affirms with a click of her tongue. Dear, you have not been looking after yourself at all. Nobody shut up in this tower must be tedious, but you are still a princess. Can't afford to be so careless with your appearance. Really would be helpless without me. Witch retrieves the brush from your bedside table, then approaches you. Let's get you looking pretty, shall we? Mattress depresses beneath the witch's thighs and you sigh. No, this is a little point in trying to pull away from her. Even if you did, where would you go? Which is all you have. Without her, you're nothing. Your own worthlessness has already been imbued deep within your bones. Do not want to admit it, but even you cannot deny the wave of relief which comes when you finally submit to her. which stays with you in your tower for a few days, just as she did when you first incarcerated. Tells you stories about her travels and about the sad girls whose wishes she oh so kindly grants. She also tells you fairy tales, some of which you remember, though vaguely, from your childhood. Toys with your hair, weaving flowers through it. She brews you cups of tea to keep you warm. Dresses you up in various outfits, and she paints your face as if you were a doll. Then, when night falls, takes you to bed, bracing you, your body slotting together as if it were meant to be. Though her touch unnerved you in the beginning, begin to find a strange sort of comfort in her proximity. Cannot recall anybody being as gentle with you as her. Though perhaps this is not saying very much, given you cannot recall much at all. Then, when she leaves you, cannot help but feel her loss. The tower feels uncomfortably empty in her absence, like a newly missing tooth, empty cavity which aches. Sit up in bed early in the morn, with her departure and toy with your hair. Run your fingers through it just as the witch did, but you are hopelessly clumsy and your fingers falter. Try to braid your hair, but you cannot manage it without it coming untied. Part of you wonders whether this is not some great feeling. Given you are a princess, princesses are not supposed to take great pride in their looks, pampering and preening. You must be a poor sort of princess, but despite that, the witch still cared enough to try and kidnap you. That must mean that you're worth something. Not to your parents. Did they ever really love you? They haven't bothered to look for you? Then to the witch. At least you have her, and that is enough for the present, to soothe you, no matter how hollow your heart might feel. Days pass by slowly as you wait for the witch's return. Not, you try to tell yourself that you really care about her. You might have braided your hair oh so gently, threading flowers through it. She might have fed you sugary sweet treats with her fingers. But still, she tore you away from everything you once knew and loved. She has ruined your life. Know that you should despise her. When the witch finally returns, set your book down a little too quickly. Look at it a little too expectantly. Witch seems to notice this. She notices everything with those eagle eyes of hers, because she giggles and says, My, somebody's eager. Did you miss me that much, dear one? Face flushes at this, like a red cat mushroom, and inwardly you wince. Wish you weren't so transparent. Look at your feet, can't look at the witch, your captor, and mumble something that is only faintly intelligible. This is hardly elegant, but the witch catches the general gist, and because she chuckles. Come now, don't be like that. Know that you like me really, otherwise you wouldn't look so enthusiastic. Again with the weird music. Tell the witch suddenly in the voice of a truculent child that you are not enthusiastic. You're reading too much into things. If you say so, dear. Witch smiles and reaches into the wicker basket that dangles from the crook of her arm. It seems like you're determined to be difficult today, though why, I don't know. You're pretty face scowling at me like that. And maybe this will cheer you up. Witch draws something from her basket and entranced despite yourself, you observe her. See that she is clutching a small stack of books, 3 of them to be precise, bound in leather. Holds them to you like a peace offering. Smile soft. Here, is this enough to satisfy you, dear one? You thank the witch for her thoughtfulness, feeling ashamed by your earlier conduct, and she beams. It's no trouble at all. I would not wish for you to be bored. Now, let me look at you. How have you been faring in my absence? I see you've been eating well, that's good, but let's examine you critically. Let's go to my eye a piece of marble, conjuring with their mind's eye, a hidden art piece waiting to burst forth from within it. Something about the way the witch looks at you makes you tremble. Gaze really is discerning. It's as sharp as a razor, comfortably so. Why does the witch make you feel like this? Do not know, but... Oh dear, hair looks awfully naughty. Fear you have not been taking proper care of it. He asked the witch once more why it matters, and she tucks. Of course it matters. You stop paying attention to your appearance, eyes might begin to wander. I am a figure woman after all. She is hardly a woman, she is a witch. Yes, exactly. We're notorious for being inconsistent, but I suppose this is what happens when one lives so long as we do. Witch chuckles and retrieves the gilt-backed brush from your bedside table next to the pile of books. Now, would you like me to take care of you? Let's get you looking presentable. Those are the witch's words. How impetuous she is. Though you wonder whether your response might be in part from anticipation. Thought of being taken care of is not wholly unpleasant, even if it means to take care of you is one to take care of you as a witch. And several more days pass. Been almost a month since you were kidnapped. Not that you know it. Time has lost all meaning to you. Shut away within your tower, but continue still. There are 30 days and soon to be 30 nights. More than 700 hours spent trapped within the stone walls of your new home. Yes, you suppose you have begun to regard this place as a home. It's where you live, whether you like it or not. You have not yet found a way to escape. Do not know if such as the way exists. Walls of your tower are thick and impermeable. Your room is too high up for you to jump out the window. There are no stairs which lead downwards to the entrance at the base of the tower. Indeed, there is an entrance at the base of the tower. All you know, there is no way out. Is that not what the witch told you? She said she was the only one able to enter and exit at will. You, meanwhile, are quite in a thrall, incapable of escaping. You have been in there for such a long time, you are beginning to wonder whether you even want to escape. Where would you go if you were able to leave? What would you do? You do not know. So continue to stay there. There's nothing else for you to do. Man, this is a longer time skip. Do you ever feel like screaming, dear one? That's quite the question to ask. Kind of worried why you're asking. Let's ask you this question one day, when she is sitting with you upon the bed. Once more she is toying with your hair, fingers snicking through the teeth of the comb. Her fingers are long and cold, as are her nails. Scrape against your neck, all inhuman. You tremble, though you try to suppress it. Do not want her to know that she unnerves you, or worse still, that she endears you. Ask the witch, who sounds uncommonly wary, but something is bothering her. She sighs in response. Is that apparent? It is rather apparent, yes. It's not like the witches speak wish to speak of being tired. You thought this was an emotion which afflicted lesser people, not all-powerful beings such as herself. Oh, you flatter me. I'm hardly all-powerful. I endured my fair share of hardship before I was able to become the woman I am today. I suffered in my time, oh yes, more than you might realize. But my recent suffering has been of the more manageable garden variety, I suppose. Incline your head. Take care not to disturb the delicate braids, which is twining through your hair in interest. What manner of suffering could be described as garden variety? It's silly, really, but which clears her throat, then says, "Told you that I grant wishes, yes?" Think she had mentioned it, yes. Well, there's the thing. Put yourself in a servile position, dollars only ever results in headaches. So many girls demand so very much of me. It fast becomes tiring, and they can be so ungrateful too. I'm doing my best to live up to everybody's expectations, but it wears upon me. I've rather begun to sicken of other people. I can go and rot for all I care. But you are different. I know no matter how much hardship I have to endure, you'll not leave me. You'll not abandon me. I won't let you. And there we continue to stay. Days goes passes by and by. My, really have become obedient, dear one. Witch's voice is warm in your ear, breath ghosting against your skin, as she sits behind you, upon your bed. Once again, Witch is toying with your hair. Never seems to tire of it. You no longer try to pull away from her. You do not want to. What would you be without her? At this point you can hardly imagine. Witch recognizes how dependent you have become, giggles and says, "You really are a good girl. You were quite a handful in the beginning, but you warmed up to a good deal. Thanks for quite the change. Now tell me, dear one, do you miss when I'm not there?" You swallow. I have a taste of musty on your tongue, like an old dress which has not been worn in years, like a subterranean prison cell which sees no sunlight. The witch is asking is a mute question. She already knows the answer. Yes, you miss her. When she is away, you miss her awfully. How nice. Glad to hear it. It's wonderful that you can finally be honest with yourself. I think you're still holding back. Holding back? Indeed. I think your feelings towards me, dear one, are more intense than that. You miss me, and it makes me wonder. Do you also love me? For a few moments you simply sit there, stunned. Know not what to say, what to do. The witch's touch is gentle, you feel trapped. Press her clacking irons. If you had the strength enough, you would throw her hands off you, scramble away, clutching what little remains of your dignity to your chest. But what dignity do you have left, really? You have already surrendered yourself to the wicked witch. You can no longer pretend to have any airs and graces. But even then, you find there is only one thing you can say to her. I don't love you. Oh, which frowns? I was cross. Is that so? You worried initially that the witch might be hurt by your response. That doesn't seem to be the case. Instead, she seems to ponder, now holding one hand beneath her chin. A minute passes and then, Well, that's no matter. I expected as much. We haven't spent all that much time together. Not yet, at least. For which, your much is nothing really. We're beings who exist beyond mere mortals' conception of time. We see years as seconds, months as mere blinking of the eye. I could keep doing this over and over again until you profess to love me, as I know you do deep down. Here the witch's smile takes on a sinister edge. She triggers her knife on the air. Where did she pull that? You hardly know. Then says, and I think that is just what I will do. No, please don't squirm, dear one. This won't hurt too much. I want to ask her what she means, or what she wishes to do with that knife. But he can't get the words out, so perhaps this is a good thing. Such questions are awfully trite and tedious. They are pointless besides. You already know that what the witch is planning. Musing, quick and nimble as a dancer, winding an arm about your waist. As past to Doxa, you are her partner. Pull close to her chest as if in a lover's embrace. Feel her fingers splayed against you. Feel her breath upon your cheek. Then feel the blade of a knife. Well, fuck. Didn't think it would get to this point so quickly, but enters your chest, plunging deep, deeper than you thought it possible for a small knife to penetrate. You gasp, you splutter. Part of your nightgown blooms red, just like the garnished rose, so bright it hurts for you to look at. It's too painful. Smell of copper fills the air, fills your mouth. Vision begins to skew as does your body. Pushed to one side, clumsy as a duckling, no longer a ballerina worthy of performing upon the same stage as the witch. She is graceful and elegant, as she is made of air, and she had never felt more lumbering. Pushed to one side, the witch steps back in a flurry of crimson as she does. Oh my, careful dear, I wouldn't want you to stain my lovely dress. Then, your head hits the floor with a smack. For a few moments, you lay there. You know pain, sharp, intense agony which consumes you like a wildfire. Blood pours from your chest, pouring on the floor in a sick, sticky puddle. Try to breathe, but your body refuses you. Your lungs ache, and every inhalation is agony. A few sad, pathetic snatches of air you are able to inhale taste like glass. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts. But to immense relief, it doesn't hurt very long. Which bends down, knife in hand. Gently, she caresses your face, though she means to soothe you, as though she cannot contend how you came to be in such a sorry state. My apologies, dear one. I wasn't as efficient as I would have liked. Still don't have much practice with this. I'm sure you'll forget it all soon enough. A few minutes, it's all fade away, just like a bad dream. Then she plunges the knife into your limp, unresisting body once more. Feel the cold, inorganic material plunge deep inside of you, chilling you from the inside out. The knife violates your body. She is fast becoming a corpse. Most of your life oozes from the gaping, violent wound in your stomach, which is very red, like a rose. Then there is nothing. Bleed out, vision blurry, and you die. Do not even have a chance to try and resist your fate. This witch is not merciful. No matter how she claims to care for you, and she will not grant you such a reprieve. Why would she, when you rejected her so callously? This fairy tale theatre, full of bad endings, reaped what you sowed with your cruelty, your callousness. But don't worry, this is not the end. Does she know that all fairy tales have to have a happily ever after? Feel sick when you finally wake up. Like an injured animal, you lie there, so feeble you can scarcely move. Chest hurts, though it was recently split apart. Heart, meanwhile, hammers anxiously in your breast. It's like an unwieldy piece of muscle which is working too hard to assert its own existence. Trembling fingers, you look down. Half expect to find the front of your nightgown dyed red with blood, but it's not to be. Nightgown is a pure, peerless white instead, very smooth and unwrinkled. How peculiar. You're so convinced upon waking that you'd find a crater in your chest, or where your heart used to be, that your reality is a touch disappointing. Feels like a letdown. But you would rather have your heart in place, you suppose, inside your breath than outside it, and lined up on the floor. Oh, I wouldn't know about that, because that just means the witch can just kill us again, and again, and again, so... The immediate welfare assured, you then glance about your surroundings, thinking that this room, the stone walls and the bookcases and the wooden chair by the window, looks vaguely familiar. Or have you seen it before? Wonder this, trying to grasp your faint, fleeting memories when you hear a voice. Whip your head about, lights in this room flickering, the sun outside is sinking, then rising again, and... Oh, I see you're finally awake. Recognize the voice, but where's the owner? Ah, just there. You see her now. There's a woman standing by your bedside. She has the hair of the color of the sunset, curls about her face, eyes soft and a smile plays about her lips. Looks sweet, like an angel, but she knew only too well that looks can be deceiving. Have you not spoken to her once before in this very room? I'm sure you have, but the harder you try to grasp these details, the more faint and flimsy they become. But you're making it up. Always had a penchant for daydreaming. I wonder... How long have I actually been here? I haven't been here for the month that I was awake. How many times has she killed me? Interesting. I've not seen this woman before. If you have, you must have seen her in a dream. Or else perhaps a nightmare. Oh, you poor thing. Woman Tuts. It's almost as though she can tell what you're thinking. Maybe she can simply see your feelings written upon your face. Because she says, look to be in a bad way. Awfully dazed. I ought to be able to help you. Here, drink this. The woman with her eyes like roses hands you a mug, one of which is earthen, full of some warm liquid of suspiciously honeyed hue. Look down at the cup. There's dun brown contents, askins. Is this really safe for human consumption? Yes, it's fine, silly. I'm not poisoning it, if that's what you're worried about. In fact, it's the opposite. The opposite? Indeed, I chatted it to soothe any unwanted aches and pains. I'm sure your head is aching. It must be after everything that's happened. What happened? No, only answer one question at a time. Get confusing otherwise. Yeah, we've already read through all this, I think. Oh, here we go. You take in the woman standing before you. It's hard to tell her appearance is only Morpheus, seeming to shift, even if you observe her between various ages, various states of being. One moment she looks younger than you, fresh-faced and rosy-cheeked, young man not yet in her 18th year. But in another moment you could swear she is an ancient beyond mortal comprehension. Decades of experience painting her face so that the hollows of her eyes seem to sag. How old is this girl woman? This apparition of no fixed appearance, the pale skin, pale pink hair. You do not know. Cannot get to the bottom of her. She's like a puzzle box, a mystery which demands solving. But you're tired, and your head hurts. You scarcely know who you are, let alone who this woman is. Cannot think. Hurts to think. But what does that stand to reason, does it not? Woman, did she not introduce herself yesterday as a witch? Said that you were a princess. Princesses are not supposed to think. Try to employ too much brain power, you'll accomplish naught, save ruining your good looks. Is it better to not bother? You ask the witch what she is doing. Innocent query, tempered by sleep, which makes her laugh. Okay, yeah, I think we read through all that again as well. Oh, here we go. Briefly, you think of denying her query. Though you know you are being unreasonable, it feels almost like an accusation. That she is mocking you for need to consume food to live. Some reason to mean to the witch that you possess such base needs feels excruciating. You would just as soon admit that you like rolling around in the dirt like a beast. That is how she makes you feel. Keep your mouth closed, your lips pressed together. Though your mouth might be silent, the rest of your body is not so obedient. Okay, yeah, and then she is giving us the food. Okay, we still haven't read all this. Your stomach a low earthly rumble emits, loud enough that there is no mistaking it. Wind your arms around your stomach, but it makes not a blind bit of difference. Continues to rumble regardless, rolling deep, like an undersea disturbance. Witch knows it. Well, of course she does. How could she not? And she giggles. When at least your body's honest, even if your mouth isn't. Face flushes bright red at this. All the indignities. But the witch does not linger upon it. Perhaps she is trying to spare you. Instead, she reaches into her wicker basket, holds a flaky pastry out towards you. Okay, then yeah, we end up eating it. The breeze disturbs your hair, hem of your dress. You exhale. Rumors pass. Awkward moments as the witch hums to herself. When you glance over the trees, question rises to your throat, one which feels too large for your slender body. You know you will not like the answer, but you still feel compelled to ask. Why, you ask the witch, did she trap you in this tower in the first place? What did she want from you? Oh, you silly thing. Witch steps aside from the stove, then kneels before you. Takes your hand between her long bony fingers, gives them a squeeze. Shock of a cold knife through you, and you shudder. Wide, deer-like eyes, you observe the witch as softly as she says, I don't want anything from you. I just want you. You don't understand the distinction. You tell her as much. What does she mean? Well, I said, don't need to do anything, dear one. Or say anything. You don't need to be anything, other than yourself, of course. I didn't bring you here because I desire you to act in a certain way. I just wish you to enjoy your company. I mean, the only thing you want is for me to love you. Because the last time I said that didn't kind of killed me, so... There's something a little fluttering, I suppose, about that. Half flutters, colour rising to your cheeks. But still does not answer your question. Do you want only to enjoy your company? Why did she have to keep you a prisoner? Could she not enjoy your company in another manner? One that's less inconvenient? Naturally, that is what I wished, but it isn't so easy, you know. It isn't? I wonder if that's how the first game came about, where they lived somewhere else. Somewhere where our main character could easily escape from. So that's why the witch decided to bring us onto here, so we wouldn't escape from her again. No, dear one, you are a princess, you see, and I am a witch. We could not have been together if you remained in the palace. You would have been wed to a boorish and loudish prince who wouldn't appreciate you, and I would be distraught. Distraught? Does she truly care for you that much? I care for you a lot, dear one. Which speaks softly, voice disarmingly gentle, She cups your cheek, fingers sliding into your bare hair, or into your hair. Don't know where I got bare from. Her digits are still disabling bony, but you find you don't miss it, as much as you thought you would. No longer bothers you. Something almost soothing about her touch. That's why I had to kidnap you. I want to put it selfishly, I suppose I could say I meant to rescue you from your tedious feat, being wed to some strange man and whisked away to a foreign land, getting far away from me. But I'm a witch, so I'm selfish. That's not really why I brought you here. I brought you here because I want to be with you. I couldn't bear to see another speak to you or touch you. I want to keep you all to myself. Which is why you can't leave. I knew from the moment I laid my eyes on you, I wished you to be mine. And so I took you. That's all there is to it. And if you ask your voice cheeky, were you to jump off the window, what then? Okay, and then we read all through that again. Your brow furrows, expression flat and dull, uncomprehending. Did you once turn into a witch? This witch for help in the past? You led a life as sheltered as the witch is claiming. It does seem beyond the realms of possibility. But this, like so many other things about your past, have to remain a mystery. Yeah. She had turned to the witch at some point, as far as we know. Yes, you think that this is the right word for it. Tower is lonely. And trying not to admit it, not even to yourself, because that feels like a confession of weakness. But the quiet has been gnawing at you. The witch is no ally of yours. It's quite the opposite, in fact. Nice to have another human to interact with. Not that you suppose that she is a human, not in the traditional sense of the word. She is still a witch. You cannot trust her, and yet... How have you been getting along, dear one? Okay, I think we read all through that again. Okay, what else do you have, after all, to spend time with? What else will you look at, like the witch does, with enchanted eyes, as if everything you have to say, not that she gives you an ample opportunity to speak, is utterly enrapturing. You have never met anybody like her before. At least, you do not think you have. Past is hazy, memory is vague and cloudy like the surface of an old mirror. Cannot remember. Still, you think the witch must be special. Makes you feel special. That is reason enough to hold her in high esteem. Then, when she leaves you cannot help but feel a loss. Tower feels uncomfortably empty in her absence, like a newly missing tooth, an empty cavity which aches. You sit up in bed early in the morning after her departure and toy with your hair. Okay, I think we already read through all this. Okay, a lot goes past before we find new dialogue. You stare at the witch with wide, anxious eyes, just like a deer's. Question instead something within your chest. Half-remembered dreams, perhaps. Passing fantasies. Maybe even memories. Can recall somebody asking you this question once. Long time ago, but you don't remember who it was. You don't remember how you responded to the query. Do you remember the pain, however, short and sharp? Then there was nothing. Well, which asked, rose-colored eyes are fixated upon you. What do you have to say? Do not know. Stand there shaking, hands clasped to your heart, fit to defend it from a vicious predator. Clever-eyed crow, perhaps, who likes to make meals out of knock-kneed princesses. What should she say? Oh, we can't ask that question again, but uh-oh. We don't have much of a choice here. No. You know the witch's question is a loaded one. You know full well what the answer she wants. cannot bring yourself to give it. Cannot tell the witch that you love her, even though your body is screaming at you to do so. Every nerve ending on fire. Have vague memories of beholding the scene once before. The witch standing before you, knife in hand. Even then, you will not betray yourself. Not let her get the better of you. She has taken so much of you already. Freedom, your future, so many hours. You will not let her have your heart too. That is something you must guard jealously. For as a princess, is your heart not your greatest asset? You must keep it safe, so that you bequeath it to a handsome prince who might one day come by to rescue you. But the witch must know what you are thinking, because the smile which paints her lips is cruel, mocking even. She snorts and then says, "Oh, you mean to reject me because you think a prince might rescue you? It is a pretty notion, my dear, but there is no prince to rescue you now. It is just you and me. You can accept my love or not, but if you don't, you will suffer the consequences. Haven't you learned your lesson already, you silly thing? You really are stubborn." There's a flash of light, which retrieves seemingly from thin air a knife. One with a short blade, but it's sharp enough. Know from past experience how very devastating that blade can be. You're sure now, as you back away from your captor, that the scene has played out once before, likely as it is now. Sure that the witch has descended upon you, knife in hand, but your feet refuse to move. Reach you to the spot. If you're an old oak tree, capable of breaking away. It's simply your role to play in the story. Fair, pretty princesses always make tragic ends like this when there are no princes about to rescue them. You played with fire, you poor little fool. Now you have become hopelessly burned. Witch plunges the knife into your breast for a second time, but you stand there, unresisting. This time she makes quicker work of you. She pierces your heart in a single blow. Body slumps to the ground, senseless, just like a doll's. Once again, the cycle repeats itself. Oh, and here we are again. Feel pained when you finally awake. Whole body burns as though cast into flames. First thing you do upon awakening is scream. Scream over and over again, like a banshee, all tearing at your body. Grab your fistfuls of cloth between your fingers, if you mean to rend your own nightgown asunder. Somebody stabbed you, can remember that much. Knife plunged into your chest, between your ribs and pierced your heart. Bled out and you died, and it hurt. It hurt so much. You don't know why you're still sitting here, unblemished, why you're still breathing. What is going on? You shouldn't be alive. You died, you're sure of it. You know that you died. You felt it yourself dying. You felt your coat slowly becoming cold as you lay there, still and stiff. Porcelain doll made immutable flesh, left to mold and wither away. Your chest is whole, and your nightgown is clean. There is no blood. There is no wound. What happened? Examine yourself, heartbeat slowly steadying. Shaking hands, you press your fingers to your chest as if this act might reveal some secret cavity, which you can wriggle your digits inside like worms. Pat yourself down, but in vain. Nothing wrong with you at all. Now you are starting to feel rather silly. You flush, embarrassed by your unseemly conduct, when all of a sudden you hear a footstep. Whip your head upwards, light in the room flickering, the moon outside sinking and rising again, and... Oh, I see you're finally awake. I recognize the voice, but where is it the owner? Oh, just there. You see her now. Okay, yeah, we've already read through all this. Hey, not much new dialogue. Oh, I spoke too soon. Stayed at your side rather long during the visit than she has those in the past. Now the sun's beginning to set. She busied herself for hours, playing with you as one might a doll, though you, of course, are much more than that. Dolls are hard and permeable bodies made of porcelain, which are incapable of experiencing sensation. It is not so for you. Feel every single touch the witch bestows upon you. When her fingernails press against your scalp, you cannot help but shudder. You have begun to think during these shearing days that perhaps things would be easier if you were a doll. Then you would not sigh so from her touches, not lean into her kisses, though you wish you could lean away. If you could not feel emotions, perhaps the wish would not take so much of you as delight, drawing them out for you. And perhaps she would not torment you so, like a playground bully, which keeps on pressing. He pokes and prods until your sturdy facade crumbles, takes delight in your whimpers, but she seems to enjoy it all the more when you snap at her. Told her wish to leave you alone before, but she never does. Aggression only procures from her that light, tinkling laughter which begins to grate you so. Laughter of a child who knows not the hurt she is causing. Oh, perhaps she does know, but she does not care. You're unsure what is worse. Which finally seems to have had enough of your company, however, because she rises from your bed. Wish observes you. Her long-lashed eyes narrowed and says, "It's unfortunate, but I cannot spend too much time by your side. You need to be off. Even I have work to do." That's funny, you thought. You thought that as a witch? Okay, I think we read all through that. Well, and we died again, I think. I'm not sure whether you can survive the fall, no matter how verdant the grass is at the base of the tower. I just realized it wasn't that we died. I forgot about the fact that we made the pack thing. And if you did survive, legs did not break from the impact, which are already too great, whatever that word is, you would not know where to run. You don't know where the city is. Well, you know it could be miles and miles away. It could even be across a sea of lava, across a dark, tempestuous ocean. No idea if this is the country you were born in. Neither do you know where you are on any map, which is the only person who can tell you where you are. You get the distinct feeling she has not been wholly truthful with you. She responds to your queries, yes, but we seem to bend just like the sunlight when it meets the surface of a mirror. Words are like quicksilver. They shift and mutate, and cannot pin them down. When you ask her where you are, she smiles and laughs and says, "Why, in the tower, of course." You ask her where the tower is, she says, "In the woods." This is not a lie, of course. Most definitely in a tower which is situated in the woods, but any attempt to extricate further information from her results in laughter. You ask too many questions, she invariably starts kissing you. It's quite effective at shutting you up. Very hard to articulate yourself when the witch's tongue is nudging against your own. Her arms are about you, and you are sighing. She takes you in her arms, and she holds you, she kisses you. Forget about your questions. Forget about trying to escape, only for a few brief, blissful moments, when nothing much seems to matter save her. Then she leaves you. You find yourself feeling more uneasy than ever before, disgusted at yourself for leaving so easily to her kisses, and even more confused. You still have no idea where you are, but maybe the particulars don't matter. You're in a tower in a forest. Nobody but the witch knows where you are. Nobody will be coming to save you. You cannot save yourself. Even if you could jump from the window, you can't. and you knew what a city was, you don't. There is something rather uncouth about attempting to escape. You are a princess after all, and princesses are supposed to rescue themselves. That's not how stories like these go. First away until a handsome prince rescues them, and that's what you do. Like a good little girl, you sit by your window, looking out over the forest, which stretches on endlessly, and you think, you daydream and you dither, but in the end, you do absolutely nothing. That's why you begin reading. Fortunate that the tale isn't completely devoid of entertainment. There are books, at least, shelves full of them, stacked against the stone walls. So many books, the wood shelves groan beneath their weight. You're hard pressed to pick a book, but you eventually settle upon a romance. It's frothy and inoffensive, not particularly interesting, but losing yourself in its pages is better than sitting idle. It at least occupies your brain. It stops you from thinking about your predicament, which can only be described as dire. It stops you too from thinking about her. That really is the most frustrating part about this whole experience. Witch was with you, forever by your side, could not wait to be rid of her. Now that you're rid of her, you have nothing left to look forward to save her next visit. The world has become very small indeed since you were kidnapped, pressing down on itself, till it could be a fit inside a walnut shell. That's why you read. You immerse yourself in somebody else's life, even if it is a made-up life. It might stop you thinking about your own. The moment is the only meaningful way in which you can be free. And she's back again. She has done this many times before, but you find yourself shrinking away from her regardless. You don't want the witch touching your hair. You don't want her touching any part of you. You don't want to be alone. But you do not want to be with her either. You don't want her to disappear. But you cannot bear to look at her. Paralyzed by indecision, not knowing what you want, not knowing what to say, you edge away, small and afraid, while the witch smiles. Now, let me make you beautiful. Mattress depresses beneath the witch's thighs and you sigh. Yeah, and then go that's the same stuff again. My princess is supposed to be calm, composed, perfectly poised. You might not remember much of your past, nor of your life in the palace, but you think you should be accustomed to compliments at this point. Surely princes have been going down on one knee and taking your hand for years. This is your 18th birthday. She'll be ingrained in you, but you feel awkward and clumsy before the witch's words regardless, stood bare and oddly exposed. It's enough to make you wonder, are you really a princess after all? You look at your feet, you cannot look at the witch, your captor, almost something that is only faintly intelligible. The princess is hardly elegant. The witch catches the general gist because she chuckles. Come now, don't be like that. Know that you like me really. Otherwise you wouldn't be so enthusiastic. Tell the witch suddenly, in the voice of a truculent child, though not enthusiastic. She is reading too much into things. You say so, dear. He smiles and reaches into the wicker basket that dangles from the crocodile arm. It is like you're determined to be difficult today, though why I don't know. When your pretty face scowling at me like that. Maybe this will cheer you up, and then yeah, does the books? Well, you mean to reply, really you do, but the words catch you in your throat. Usual instinct is to thank the witch for her kindness, but why should you? She kidnapped you. Do not owe the witch anything. Should not owe her anything, at least. It makes it all the more complicated to navigate this gift. What should you do? Still for a few moments, rendered mute. You never know what to say to the witch. Well, the witch chuckles. Well, let me leave these here for you at your bedside table. You can pursue them or peruse them when it's most convenient for you, or not. They aren't to your liking. I'm not boorish enough to force a gift upon a fair maiden if she doesn't want it. That's quite curious, given she is boorish enough to kidnap you. Now let me look at you. How have you been faring in my absence? So you've been eating well, that's good, but... Okay then. Don't know about you, wish you didn't. Makes your skin crawl. Oh dear, your hair looks awfully naughty. Fear you've not taken proper care of it. Okay then, yeah, that's what it's saying. Time unspools before you, each day blowing into another. There's so much time now. There's precious little to fill it save reading. You've gone through most of the books in your tower already. You're beginning to long for something more than light, frothy fairy tales, even more insubstantial than sea foam. Perhaps you ask the witch for more books when she next visits you, though you have no idea when that will be. Visits are sporadic. She does not always stay for very long. She used to care more about how you look than what you think. She fusses about your hair and clothes more than your words. But maybe that is to be expected. Now, a princess, after all, you were raised like a sacrificial lamb, to be bartered away to the highest bidder. That's how all princesses are, whether they are engaged to princes or kidnapped by witches. Just to be looked at and to be admired. What I think is of little consequence, which is treatment of you rankled by it in the beginning, stung your pride. Pride, you suppose, as a princess, getting you railed against her. Now, however, you have begun to miss her company. Every day you awake, you are made aware anew of just how much your world has shrunk. It contains nothing save the witch. There's nothing for you to anticipate beyond her visits. Nobody for you to speak to save the voice in your own head. Wears upon you, but you have the strangest of feelings that this is where you belong. This is your new world. Playing the role that is expected of you. But this is not what princesses are supposed to do. Being a prisoner must be in your blood. It is part of who you are, grayed into you, just like your knowledge on how to pour a cup of tea without spilling it, or how to address your superiors without making a nuisance out of yourself. You know how to be quiet, how to be meek, how to be mild. You do not know how to stop worrying, however. What will happen to you if the wish begins to tire of you? What then? And a lot of time passing. Yeah, do you ever feel like screaming? Definitely has a lot more meaning, seeing as... Think of this loop where we actually woke up screaming. I was feeling like being back in the conservatory again. Conservatory? What is that? Some sort of school for witches? Never you mind, dear. Just chuckle softly, fingers still in your hair. Voice sounds light, as always, but you detect a strange note of it, a degree of hesitance. Did she misspeak? Perhaps she let slip a bit more than she intended. It is a nuisance, that is all. Not that I would not take on more favours for others, but even witches must fulfill their purpose. I've rather begun to sicken of other people. I can go and rot for all I care. Yeah, we already read through all that. You're growing comfortable in her presence, more than you imagined you might. The witch has seen us. She has sensed the easing of your breathing, slumping of your shoulders, and she smiles from it, used by your easy acquaintance of her affection. You have become docile, just like a cat. She is well aware of it, and this fact brings a blush to your face. Look at your lap, your eyes half-lidded, and tell her that you are simply too tired to fight her off. You have been her prisoner for so long, it would be foolish to remain antagonistic towards her. She is the one, after all, who feeds you, entertains you, keeps you company. Really are a good girl. You were quite the handful in the beginning. You warmed up a great deal. Makes for quite a change. Now tell me, dear one, do you miss me when I'm not there? Okay, we already done that. I've been fighting off the slowly mounting feels of deja vu since you first awoke in the tower. This question finally brings you to your senses. Feels as though you're finally awoken, just like Sleeping Beauty from a long, long dream. Which has asked you this question once before. Asked you whether you loved her. You refused her. You were too proud and haughty to accept her love. You paid for it. She splashed your blood against the tower floor, and you were left to lie there in a heap. Sad, pathetic pile. You don't look very much like a princess then. All your airs and graces. Witch left you to die, but she is a merciful witch. She has given you a second chance. What will you say to it this time? Oh, Okay, I know this is probably not going to end well for us, but let's try this one first. Oh dear one, which clicks her tongue as she examines you, one hand under her chin, proving to be awfully stubborn. You quail before the witch and her large rose-like eyes, your head hanging. Had the awful feeling that you have disappointed her, feeling which is intense enough to be crushing. Feel your insides squirming unpleasantly, though they have been hooked by a fisherman's lure. Almost tempted to apologize to her. Cannot help it if you do not love her, but you wish you didn't look so very hurt when... Oh, no matter. This is hardly the first time I've asked you this question. Hardly the first time you've rejected me. At this point, I've become accustomed to it. It's like a little game. I rather enjoy games. They were not so very fun, I will admit, as the conservatory when the other girls played tricks upon me. But it has been rather entertaining to watch you squirm in my tower, all alone. Now, shall we get this another go? Wonder how long you can keep on resisting me. Might be strong, I suppose. I should have expected it, really. Given your true nature, I endured horrors you can't possibly understand, and I'm even stronger. I'm not going to let you get the better of me. Had enough of being walked all over, my dear, pretty princess. Draws a knife from thin air as she speaks, a smile cloying, so sweet it's almost, whatever that word is. She takes one neat, nimble step forward, like a dancer, and draws you to her once more. Recognize this pose. She has held you in her arms like this before. Prince Siegfried to your white-winged Odette. But the front of your pale gown and your fair ivory skin do not remain so for very long. Witch's knife plunges into your chest, sure and true, the blade sliding between your robes as though it belongs there. You gasp, but not in surprise. You have a dull feeling as you totter back that this has happened once before. You are accustomed to it already. Not so very surprising, therefore when you gasp, you choke, splutter, blood burbling from between your lips, such a crimson it's almost black. Body teeters. Legs, two slender stems, give way beneath you. Then you fall. Head makes a loud crack as it hits the ground, like a gourd dropped from a tall height. The window of your tower, perhaps. Don't register it. Can't hear it. Rory succumbed. And we're back again. You're tired when you finally wake up. Just once you've seen the ceiling one too many times. Stares down at you hatefully, as restricted as the shell of a walnut, process in which you have found yourself trapped. been here before. You've seen these walls, you've seen this window, and you have already seen the sky beyond it. But never have you seen any door. There's no way out of here. Listlessly you lie there, remembering the many deaths which dance through your mind like dust motes. Died so many times. You can hardly keep track of them. Then you hear a voice. Her voice. Recognize this too. Seeing the scene play out so many times before, you have become quite jaded. Perhaps it is time to dissociate. You let the witch introduce herself once more, though you are strangers. The days begin to melt away. Time passes one day after the other, over and over and over. The witch one day asks you that all-important question. Do you love me? And we can do it all over again! Fuck you! This, again? Witch touched, evidently displeased. And her fingers pressed against your cheeks, her nails sharp like claws, so they almost draw blood. Beginning to tire of this back and forth, thought that I would be able to break you down by this point, like the dear little doll that you are. But never mind, it appears some further persuasion is in order. Just don't complain if it hurts, dear one. Remember, you're the one who brought this upon yourself. The flash of silver, one which has become far too familiar. Then you feel pain, but only for a few seconds. Witch's blade sinks into your chest, plunging into your heart. You bleed and your body crumples to the floor. Then you die. Then I wake back here, you feel tired, yada yada. Yeah, I don't like you, fuck you. This again? Yeah, fuck you, I am going to do this as many times as it allows me.
Several months later.
Okay, well, fine, you broke me. I've been doing this for a few minutes and yeah, nothing else has really happened, so go tell her I love you. In case of the witch's inquisition, there is only one thing you can say. There's only one thing that destiny will allow you to say. This is the moment that your story has led up to. This is why you exist within this tower, the witch watching over you. Just solely so that you can love her. You know the moment the words pass your lips that you have done your duty. You have fulfilled your role in this story. There will be no more resisting from you now. Sure to slump in relief, finally content with your newfound bondage with this repeating recursive nightmare, as the witch smiles. Looks at you tenderly, as a mother might a child. Though you are her child, you have pleased her by eating all your vegetables and tidying up your toys. It took some doing, but you have finally given her the correct answer. Of course you love the witch, how could you not? She is all you know in this world, and all you have to rely on. And your blind reliance is not what love is. Witch seems to agree, but she giggles. Fingers curl against your captive cheeks, nails digging into them just hard enough to hurt, so sharp she threatens for a brief moment to draw blood. But your concerns are soon allayed, roles overridden, when the witch leans in. Softly she says, I knew you couldn't keep holding out against me. You are awfully stubborn. All that silly resistance is in the past. Finally, you're all mine, my adorable pretty princess. Then she kisses you, harsh, crushing kiss which robs the air from your very lungs, sends to clean out your skull. Thought after confiding in the witch that she might be more compelled to spend time with you. You had hoped, by sharing your gentle blossoming feelings, it would kindle a newfound understanding between the two of you, that she would come to care for you. You had hoped. Oh, you're not sure what you had hoped, not anymore, but it was not this. Days continue to slide by, slippery as Neil's back, yet you see no sign of the witch. She left you enough. She left you food enough to last several weeks, which does not seem to sprout mold, nor turn sour, no matter how much time passes. Perhaps it's enchanted. Hollows of rye bread, which bequeaths you, do not turn bluish white from age. Cheeses she bestows you retain much of their flavour. Punnets of strawberries are still sweet. Cherries tentatingly tart. I'm not in any danger of languishing anytime soon, but though your stomach is full, your heart feels disconcertingly empty. Feels as though the witch has stolen something from you, something precious which you cannot recover, which has already stolen you from your old home, your old life. It may have also stolen your old memories, though you are less sure about that. I'm beginning to fear, however, that in the wake of your confession, she has stolen something even more intimate. She has stolen your affection, plucking words of love from your lips. As easily as she might twist a berry from a bush, or the head from a flower. She has harvested your feelings in a manner which, retrospect, seems uncomfortably calculated. Did she lavish you with gifts so that you might grow to adore her? Did she cultivate your feelings on purpose, in the hopes of reaping them, having something else to steal from you? Now that she has claimed your heart, perhaps she no longer finds you amusing. She has begun to grow bored of you? What happened to you then? Will she abandon you, all alone in this tower? No way of escaping with no means of procuring your own food? If she were to do that, you are sure you would die, either of loneliness or starvation. Unsure which would come first. Try to take solace with the pages of numerous novels within your tower, but you have read them all before. Stories entombed within the pages do not change, cannot distract you from your anxieties. Actions of the put upon herons, in any case, will seem awfully trite. There is a lot of running through the woods, brambles snagging at the hems of dresses, horse catching in your hair. And anyway, these stories all end badly. Heron always dies. As far as romance stories go, they are not very cheerful. Cannot console you. Wish is not there, and in her absence, you are all alone. Days continue to pass, but little changes, which pays you a handful of visits, but they are infrequent, few and far between. They are depressingly functionatory alongside it. His visits do little to assuage you that the witch still loves you. How can she, when she comes and goes so very easily, just like a cat? She loved you. Could she really abandon you without a backwards glance? Do not know, or perhaps you do not want to. Dwelling upon it is too uncomfortable. Does the witch not know what she is doing to you? Does she not know how much you have come to care for her? Surely she must, for it was she who pulled that confession, timorous though it was and uneasy, from your lips. You told the witch that you loved her, and she has repaid you by abandoning you. Did you come on too strongly? Was she unhappy to hear of your affection for her? Cannot be right, though. Not when she laughed upon hearing your confession. She thought that it would make you happy, but was that not presumptuous of you? What do you know of the witch? Do not even know her name. Work yourself up into knots with every day which passes, so much so your insides are uncomfortably tangled. Not knowing what to say, nor what to do, you remain mute. It is easier to say nothing than to say too much, to shadow what little regard the witch might have for you. But you ache for her presence, for attention, and for her affection. And so, unable to stop yourself, find yourself asking the witch what you did wrong, Why has she been avoiding you? Avoiding you, dear one? Lish looks at you questioningly, an expression so believably bemused that you began to doubt yourself. I'm not avoiding you. Perish the thought. Why would I do something so callous? I'm not sure. That's why you were asking her. She spends so little time with you lately, you just thought... that's where you're getting tripped up, dear one. You are a princess, therefore you should not think. You have no need for it. Princesses are made to be pampered by others, not to try and sleuth their way out of their own problems. You'll be much happier if you stopped worrying, silly thing. Well, yes, you suppose she is right. You can see the logic there. Life would be a lot easier if you could simply switch off your worries as if they were a gas lamp, but... that's enough, dear one. Remember what I said? There is no sense in thinking. You'll work yourself up again. But you cannot help but think. You have nothing else to occupy your hours when she is away. She has been away so often lately. I suppose you are right. I've been keeping away from you lately, but that is not due to any malice on my part. No, of course not. My feelings for you remain as strong as ever, but I have been awfully busy lately, that is all. There's so many sad and lonely girls out there, after all, with wishes that need granting. But I hadn't seemed at all distracted, that is why. It has nothing to do with you, so please do not cry. I cannot bear to see you looking so sad. What? Were you crying? Yes, you are. Your eyes are wet. So are your cheeks. Poor dear thing. Witch touched and leans in. Gently she introduces her fingers to your cheeks, covering them as if you were something invaluable. When she touches you like that, you feel as though you are precious. On your own, it is easy to get caught up in the mire of your own thoughts, but with the witch... Shh, easy now. Try not to cry, dear. You'll spoil your pretty face. With the witch, you feel like the princess she claimed that you are. Makes you feel as though, for the first time in your life, you wanted, you needed, you were safe. And perhaps that is why you begin to cry in earnest, gentler the witch handles you. You always thought it was foolish saying, to kill somebody with kindness, but now you can finally see the logic behind it. The witch is killing you, whether she knows it or not. Even when she leaves you, you are not alone, not truly. She has burrowed her way into your heart. There you feel she will remain, forged from now until the end of times. You'll never be able to disentangle yourself from her. Love her far too much for that. Try to maintain a positive attitude as the days elapse. Pray that you might deter the witch if you come to Morkish. You can go through the days well enough, brushing your hair, painting pictures, or else flipping through the numerous books which the witch has brought you. You have distraction enough to keep your mind and your hands occupied, fact for which you are thankful. Do not have many distractions, but you have enough. When the sun sinks beneath the trees, however, the sky turns dark blue, then black. Clouds begin to pile up on you. During the night, when it is cold and the wind is blowing, you can no longer fool yourself. It's been a week, 2 weeks, 3, 4, 5, 10 since you last saw the witch. Visit you rarely now, so much so that your cool, untouched skin is beginning to yearn for the brush of her fingers. You sit by your window when the sun begins to sink, and you watch as it dips beneath the horizon. Hope, with the setting of the sun, that the witch might pay you a surprise visit. Wonder whether she might appear at the window, pull yourself into her arms, and pepper your eyelids and your cheeks with kisses. But she never does. Definitely not liking the very ominous music. Surprised that we have like enough food and whatnot to last all this time. We're sitting on the window once again. Has it become a commonplace occurrence for you? Dream of what could be, what should be. When first you are imprisoned with the stone tower, within this stone tower, you used to dream of escaping from your confinements and running far, far away. Your dreams of sitting upon a cliffside, slowly breezing your hair, and the sound of the waves upon the shore in your ears. That was seeking refuge among rows of thatched roof cottages, quiet residences where few dwell. Dreamt of being taken in by somebody wiser than you, somebody kinder. Dreamt of being treated with care and with respect. That's all you wanted. But wishes have been shifted since then, as has your heart. No longer do you dream of the seashore, waves and of the cliffs. Dream has become rather more isolated. You dream of residing within the walls of this tower, as you currently do. The witch by your side tells you that she loves you, and you lean into her love. Accept it without question. If her words were manna from heaven, sweeter than honey. You no longer wish to be loved in a calm, quiet, measured sort of way. Want the excessive, all-consuming love of a witch who was determined enough to keep you captive. What other form of love could be more meaningful than this? Do not want a bland love. A milk toast, whatever that word is, love. Common, everyday, unremarkable love. You have grown accustomed to the love of a witch. A love which possesses and which consumes. You want the witch to love you as you have come to love her. But when the witch finally does come to visit you, you cannot see any love upon her face. You cannot see any love in her eyes. Cold and hard, just like stones. Gasp when you see her. Do not expect her. Scramble to your feet. Souls are bare. Do not bother to dress yourself. Have not bothered for the last. How many days has it been? Do not remember. You've grown rather slovenly about your appearance. No longer can you brush your hair, change out your nightgown, to don your petticoats or your bodice, or even your stockings. What's the point? No witches start visiting you. You're soon lie in your bed like a sumptuous wench and slowly die. That's how it feels without the witch's company, like you are dying. You are knowing an intense, obsessive love, and now it is gone. Without that love, you have begun to wither away. It really is a tragedy. Hope the witch will be able to see how much you are suffering without her. You hope that she will take pity upon how very pathetic you have become, and she will promise to stay with you. Wait with wide, eager eyes, hoping that she will offer you some excuse as to her absence. It can't be a good excuse, so long as it's not, I've grown tired of you, or so long as it's not, I no longer love you. Or worse still, I never loved you. She lies to you, you can still love her. She lies to you, you can pretend that she still loves you. She lies to you, she can spare your feelings. But the witch's voice is less than reassuring when she addresses you. Voice is cool when she says, "Dear me, you are in an awful state. You haven't brushed your hair, and you haven't bothered dressing either. Some princess you are, perhaps would be ashamed. A creature like you has any parents to speak of, that is." A creature? Look at the witch incomprehensibly. What does she mean by that? I mean what I said. Just take a look at yourself. Do not believe me, look at your reflection, and try to argue that you aren't a creature. You look at yourself, but there is no mirror. I've not seen your own face, save for the faint reflection in the witch's dark eyes for... God, how long have you been trapped here? Ah, yes, I suppose that is true. I was hoping you might remember who you are for yourself. Let me need to spell things out for you. But you're remarkably dense, aren't you? Aren't you always supposed to be wise? But I suppose even the most powerful witches are capable of self-delusion. When the truth becomes too unpleasant for them to confront it. What does she mean, witches? Thought you were a princess. Oh yes, I didn't tell you that, didn't I? Thought it'd be amusing, a bit of role reversal. I wondered if you would like to be the heroine in a love story. Once rather than the antagonist. This has dragged on far too long already. Wait. Hold on a moment. She's saying... What I think she's saying? Because if I'm also a witch, she is a witch. Was I right in thinking from the very beginning that this was the same red-headed girl from the main story? But I was wrong about her being a princess, or us being a princess. We were the other witch that we saw at the end of the Lonely game. One that took in our fair red-headed maiden. This isn't entertaining anymore. It's never that entertaining to begin with, to be honest. But then again, never been as cool as you are. I do enjoy reveling in other people's misery. Just thought that you deserved a taste of your own medicine. Your own medicine? What is she talking about? What do you think? Just take a look. It should answer all your questions, dear one. Witch? But is she a witch? Suppose Sudden can get what that word. Eyes half lidded, and she reaches into the wicker basket which dangles from the crook of her arm. And within it, lurking beneath a scrap of red fabric, she extracts a gilt mirror. Well, she polishes the mirror with the hem of her satin gown, hands it to you with an anticlimactic "Here." You just brush as you reach tremulously to take the mirror. Innate desire, upon seeing that mirror, is to draw away from it, or else to dash it upon the ground. You do not want to think about what you will see reflected within its smoothly glassy surface. You are afraid. Your acquiesces, all this will be over. You will no longer be able to pretend to be a princess. But you are aware, at long last, that you are pretending. Perhaps you were always aware of it. You never really felt like a princess, even when the witch bestowed this identity upon you. The word princess never resonated with you, never felt like you. Still cannot remember spending your days within a palace, or a castle, even a dungeon guarded by a dragon. Cannot remember meeting any princes, kings, or queens. Not a princess, then. You were never a princess. Of course, you always knew that. Just wanted to play pretend. Face which stares up at you from the mirror's smooth and untroubled glass. All pale skin and dark, staring eyes. Makes it obvious that you just what you really are. Were and always will be. A witch. That's right. Witch, Rosetta. Guarding you unblinkingly with dark, dead eyes. Eyes which have been seen far too much for one so young. But how young is she really? How long was she trapped, running through fractured fairy tales as she tried to escape from you? Do not know. Ali recognized her. But you recognize yourself. I lost sight of who you were when Rosetta left you, but now... Do you remember? I remember. I always remembered. My name is Media. Yes, that's right. I'm Media. And this girl is Wallace Rosetta. Though our paths continue to cross, we have always been alone. The girl, once so innocent and assuming, wishing for one of love, knowing what it feels like to be adored to the point of insanity. She has been drowned, buried, and consumed by love. So in doing, she changed. She is not the girl she once was. She has been fine with which in her own right. The eyes that reflect no light, the heart that contains no love. She caught you, me, us while we were drifting, barefoot, languishing for the life of a little girl who had so cruelly broken ties with us. She imprisoned us. I don't know how long we had been trapped here, nor how long Rosetta had been toying with us, but I cannot even fathom or even bring myself to resent her. Cannot hate her, no matter how much she might have hurt me. She called upon me when she was alone, and I answered. Promised that I would be there for her. Made a vow, and though she turned her back on me, the connection was never really severed. Love for which, after all, is a powerful thing. Even when poisoned, it continued to bloom bright red like roses. Rosetta. Ah, my adorable, beautiful Rosetta. No matter how much time passes, I still find myself drawn to you. Even now, I still adore you. Whether a mermaid, poor village girl, or a princess, I will continue to love you. Feelings for you will never waver, even if you never had any fondness to spare for me. How could it? You ought to know yourself now. After becoming a witch in your own right, it really does get so lonely here. Of course they gotta end off on that. Holy fuck, I was not expecting that. Okay, that was a cool little plot twist, I liked it. At the end of an obsession. But yeah, that was fucking cool, I love that plot twist. So yeah, so I was partially right. The redheaded witch was Rosetta, the our main character from Gets So Lonely here. Oh, cool, we got ourselves a little song here. Okay, this is actually kind of cool, but yeah, so yeah, I was right about the witch at the beginning, but yeah, I thought it was going to be the princess, but then I realized, oh, it's just the same two characters, but I didn't realize it was reversed rolled. I was nearly on the right track too, but man, that was really cool. I really love this. Not as expensive as it gets lonely here. But yeah, it was still pretty cool, I liked it. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this little playthrough of it. Be sure to check out the other game before this, and also check out the other devs' games, because I played a few of them already, and they're pretty fucking good, so... Yeah, with that, yeah, that was the end of this session. We ended it here, link will be down in the description below for this game, and yeah, we'll be ending it off here.